this new process?
All right, let me just throw out a few, because we're actually still in the process of trying to make some final determinations. There's, I believe, a consensus to try to free up general revenue by paying off debt. So there'll be what I'll just refer to as some early debt payments in about 3 or 4 different ways. We also have is interoperability. I've been a very, very strong proponent of that over the past few years, since everyone knows in 2013 the federal government will dictate that analog systems are no longer useful and everyone has to switch to a digital system. So we, the state, as I understand it, really have no choice. And given the size and magnitude of the cost of creating the statewide interoperability system, and this is, again, is for public service, for emergency responders, which everyone would benefit from that, is well over $100 million. So interop will be in there. Another that I think everyone on the floor will clearly support is the Ellis Rochelle Cancer Center in Columbia. If anyone has been to that site, and I have not, but from what I've heard, it is in serious need of not just repair, but of replacement. So we plan to do some very good things really around the state to address the critical needs of individuals and at the same time create jobs.
All the Mohila projects get funded, or just one?
No, not all.
What about
Which ones will go?
Oh.
Well, we're still working on that, to be quite honest with you.
2 things, just judicial side. Will the public defender money still be in there?
That will be, because I think you can make it, and I will make an argument, this frees up general revenue. Given, I think we all understand, the per day cost of to counties. If public defender can get the number of individuals that dock it down, then the bill that the counties send us will drop. So that makes good sense.
And
lots of different reasons.
$6.5 million for the Supreme Court building.
That one's still up to debate as well.
And the other thing that comes to mind is $20 million for Metro. Is that still in there?
That will not be.
That will not be. How come?
So probably not the $5 million for
Historical Society
ATA.
building in Columbia, since we're asking about particular projects.
I don't really want to run through the entire list. The bill should be out today, and I assure you.
That will not be in there.
Yeah, that will not be in there. I'd say wait till the bill gets dropped, which I hope is soon.
And actually, Congressman Blunt called about that a couple hours ago, asking to consider that, and I said that was dead.
Can I talk to you about your jobs bill for a minute?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but go ahead, Al, if you got.
Would you characterize then, did it just become too much of a feeding frenzy among representatives, and you just thought we're not going to reach something?
Right, that was the concern among the caucus, is that has this turned into more of a Washington, D.C. type environment, which no one in this chamber wants to look like. We want to do what we think is the best for the public's dollar. Again, these are taxpayers' dollars, and we are very, very sensitive to that. And the last thing we want to have is a misperception of what we're trying to do. But that was some of the feedback that we received from caucus, is they did not like the direction we're going. And I'll give the speaker credit. He leads not by dictate, but by consensus. And that message came through to him and to me as well. And so we're reacting to the concerns from the caucus.
We had a couple of sleepless nights. I mean, when the caucus decided to inform us that they had a difference of opinion, Allen and his staff's been up 2 nights in a row, and it's been, you don't change policy in the middle of this, that's okay. We're doing things a little bit different. Never had this kind of money before, and we want to make sure we do it wisely. We still think the taxpayer is going to be paying interest on this money that DC is spending anyway. They ought to have it back and pay a down payment on what they're going to pay back for 50 years anyway in the form of new taxes and spending that DC is spending. We're just not going there. And the majority party is, and we've been gratified to know there's members of the majority party coming to us and believe it's a good idea. I won't name them, but there's been probably 8 or 10 to talk to us in the last hour and a half.
This is a really major shift with 14 days left in the session. Is there enough time to move this through the process and make it happen?
Budget man, what do you think?
We certainly think so.
We're trying.
What bills are going to be called out?
I mean, you just said that the Senate is having a cow over this. I mean, it only takes one
we
to...
didn't inform them what we were doing because we were making plans of our own. Yeah, it is a different change of what we've been talking to them for 2 months.
But I would say also, as I said at the outset, in the Speaker's press conference, or I guess maybe the second week of session, he talked about creating jobs and tax relief for Missouri families. So there's no change in that high-level message. We're still on.
But the details haven't come out.
Well, trust me, the devil is always in the details. In this one, there are a lot of details.
And something I asked Speaker Richard today earlier this morning, it seems like the Senate has taken a lot different view of how to spend this stimulus money. They've even, as we've talked about many times before, put it in the actual operating budget to
Allen's
plug
Budget
holes.
Committee
Yeah.
budgeted on dollars that was actually receiving in the Treasury, and we made some cuts, and the other side decided to fill those holes. We don't believe that's appropriate, and I'll let you go from there. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so what
been
do
our
you, so how are you going to
philosophy
reconcile
all
the
along.
two?
And we've been a team, I mean, Al and I agree on this 100% of how he's handling this.
And I'll just assure you, every year when you look at when the House bills, or budget bills rather, come out of the House and go to the Senate, they make significant changes on an annual basis. So from that standpoint, this is nothing different than what we always go through. And we get together, we confer, we fight it out on priorities and compromise. And this, so in that respect, this will be the same process as every year.
On your jobs